All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. My name is Mike Frazier, MD, and I help high achieving men save their marriages. So today we're talking about how to show your wife you are changing. Very important if you are trying to save your marriage, even if your marriage is okay and you're just trying to, make things better. So here's the thing. When men say they're trying to change, they're trying to change for their wife, they're trying to, say I'm different, right? Their wife almost always says this. She says, "Don't tell me, show me." Almost always. All right. So today we're going to cover, the three phases of behavior change and how to demonstrate these to your wife. So you're not just talking, but you're actually showing her that you are changing, which is what she's asking you to do. So phase one, guys, it's recognizing the problem. Right? It may sound simple, but you've got to do that first before you can change it. So sometimes there's an obvious problem in your marriage, like an affair. That's clear. So a lot of times guys are going to say things like, I made a mistake. That was stupid. I'm never going to do it again. Just trust me, right? I'll show you, I'm going to buy you more gifts and I'm going to, clean the bathroom more. And, I'm never going to do it again. Okay. And then when their wife's like suspicious and saying, well, you flirted with that girl again. And then they're like, well, I can't do anything right. You're never going to trust me. So I might as well not try. Okay. So this is what a lot of times happens. And you're basically showing your wife you're an idiot when you do that. But besides the affair, what you have to understand is that there's a much bigger problem going on. Okay? And that is dishonesty. Dishonesty is really the bigger deal in the affair. You've been dishonest in a lot of ways. Okay. You probably hid the affair. Okay. You probably weren't having an affair right in front of your wife, right? So you were dishonest in hiding it. Okay. Beyond that, usually before you did the dishonesty of having the affair, you were dishonest about your own dissatisfaction in the marriage. Okay. The typical pattern that I see with guys that I work with who are unfaithful is they start feeling like they were losing in their marriage. So they feel like they're with money, maybe it's not split up fair, or they're giving more than they want to their wife, or their wife's overspending, they feel like. Or with sex, you're not having sex enough or not in the way that you like. Or with in-laws, you just don't get along with them, or your wife's spending too much time with hers, or you're not spending enough time with your family. With parenting, you just don't agree with how she's doing it. With religion, you guys don't agree and that's getting to you. Or with housework, you feel like you're doing more than your share, or she's not doing what she should be doing, or whatever, right? But the bottom line is you don't tell your wife about this, or you don't, even if you do, maybe you're doing it in an immature, idiotic way. Okay. Maybe you're just whining at her about it instead of saying something like, hey, this isn't really working for me. Let's find something that really works for both of us. That's the real key to a successful marriage. You have to find things that work for both of you. But instead of doing that, you either didn't tell her or you told her in an immature way and then, decided to act out and hurt her through your affair. Basically, you acted like a baby. Okay. So the dishonesty is the issue. That's why whenever you do something even minor that's dishonest, right? You said you're going to be home at 6 and you showed up at 7. And maybe you have a good reason for that, but that is going to stress your wife out a lot because it's going to bring up this fear of your dishonesty. Okay. So again, the affair, of course, is a big deal. You did damage to her in all ways, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, through that. You put her body in danger by possibly contracting an STD by what you did, right? You put a bad example to the kids. You did a lot of problematic things here. But below that is this bigger problem of dishonesty. She can't trust you now. Okay. So I gotta repeat that one. So now maybe your payback, it wasn't as severe as an affair, right? But maybe it was more along the lines of just silent treatments or spending more time away from your wife or, quote unquote, forgetting important events. So more this like passive aggressive behavior. Okay. So these actions, an affair or just, silent treatments or spending time away, forgetting important events, or maybe you're saying rude, mean things to her, talking about her to other people. Okay, these actions, they're mean. Okay, they're designed to hurt her, and they're what I would call sadistic. If you enjoy them at all, right? And most of us do, when we're kind of paying our wife back, right? When we're icing her out, when we're giving her that silent treatment, there's a little part of us that says, yeah, that's what you get. Okay. And that's sadistic, right? You're enjoying punishing her, right, for what you did. So again, the affair or these little, the mean behaviors, they're part of the problem. But the deeper problem is, again, dishonesty and then being mean or hurtful or sadistic. Your wife doesn't want to be around someone that's hurting her. Okay. So you have to recognize times when you're hurting her. Okay. So the last major category that I see guys fall into as far as recognizing the overall problem, okay, is being narcissistic, or in other words, uncaring or selfish. So this can look like failing to prioritize or court your wife over time, prioritizing your career or making money. And you might disguise that by saying, no, I'm just doing it to take care of my family. I just want to make money to take care of my family. Okay. Or you might say, you do a lot of work in the community, let's say, but you're not really spending time with your family. Okay. But you're like, look how much good I'm doing with, the Boys and Girls Club, or with, the local government or whatever. Here's the truth. Okay. If you are prioritizing those things over your family, it's about you looking good. It's not about them. Okay. You making more money. Okay. It's about you. Okay. I've fallen into this hundreds, thousands of times, right? Where I make it about me, but I kind of disguise it and say, no, I'm making this money for you guys, but really it's for me to look good. Okay. That's what I'm really going for. I want me to look good. I want my ego to get boosted up. Okay. So that's the last problem that I see most high achieving guys have, these three. So being dishonest, being mean or hurtful or sadistic, and then being narcissistic or selfish, right? Basically, trying to build yourself up to look really good and not really worrying about how it impacts or hurts or ignores the people around you. Okay. So phase 2 then is catching the problem. So phase 1, you recognize it. Phase 2, you start catching it. So you recognize these behaviors and then you tell your wife that you have them. Okay. Now I know she'll probably say to that, okay, well, don't tell me, show me, right? Show me, don't tell me. So to that, you can respond, look, this is the first step. I have to see the problem behaviors so I can change them. This is what I see they are. I've been dishonest to you. Here's some examples. I've been hurtful to you. Here's some examples. I've been selfish, narcissistic. Here's some examples. Okay. These are the problems I've seen in myself. Are there any others that you see? Because look, the truth is, people outside of you can see the problem better than you most of the time. Hopefully, listening to this today, that'll help you see, oh, dang, yeah, I have done some of these things. I have been, acting superior to her. The other one, along with the narcissistic, is like one up, right? Which is all kind of goes into this hurtful thing, thinking you know better than her with money, sex, in-laws, parenting, religion, whatever, housework, that you deserve sex, that it's owed to you. This, basically superior positioning, which is narcissistic and sadistic. Okay. So you catch all these problems. You say, these are the ones I see. Do you see any other ones? And then she might say, yeah, this. But also, if you're able to name these off, right, and say, look, I have been dishonest to you. Here's how. I have been hurtful to you. Here's how. I have been narcissistic. I have been one up, meaning acting superior to you a lot. I'm sorry for that. Okay, that in itself shows a much deeper level of insight. Okay, so she's gonna, even that in itself kind of shows that you're changing. And then when you ask for her feedback, right, you say, do you see any other problems? She might say, yeah, this and this. And then you say, thank you. That's catching the problem. Okay. Then you can ask her too, would you be willing to let me know if you see these negative behaviors? Okay. The next step in changing these is to try to catch them, win them before they happen. But look, I might miss them sometimes. So maybe you could say something like, stop it when you see them. Would you be willing to do that? So depending on where you're at in your marriage, she might say, okay, yeah, I could do that. Or she might say, that's not my job. You need to change this yourself. Okay. And so then you say, look, you're right. It is my job for sure. But I've learned outside perspective, it's important. And these are unfortunately patterns I've had for a long time. Okay, it's not your job at all, but I just appreciate if you could call out when you see me being dishonest or mean or selfish. Okay, just if you could point that out to me. I am going to try to catch it, but I might miss some. If you're willing to let me know, I'd appreciate it. Of course, it's not your job. You don't have to, but I'd appreciate the feedback. Okay. That, again, shows you're changing. You're being more humble. You're not trying to be one up. You're trying to be more equal to her. Another thing wives ask a lot, right, is why did you do this? Right? Why did you have the affair? Why did you act in this mean way? Right? All of that. Okay. And you don't try to excuse it, right? You just say, look, yeah, I was dishonest. If you relate with that pattern, right, of not ever telling her what's wrong, so you could say, yeah, I was upset about some things and I hid it. And then I had an affair because I wanted to hurt you. That's a very clear answer. Okay. Or, how come you always always prioritize your work over us? Well, I like to tell myself that it was because I was taking care of you, but the truth is I wanted to look good and like I was making a lot of money and I was more selfish. Okay. Simple answers, but again, they show your wife you have some insight, you're catching the problem. So now you go around and you start catching yourself. Okay. So you look backwards and you say, okay, here's all the ways that I was dishonest, mean, selfish, one up, right? So, and then you can apologize for those. In the strongman system, you go through an apology letter. Most guys do it wrong because they don't quite get these concepts, or they think they do, and then they apply it and it's not quite there. That's fine. That's what I'm here for as a coach. So you look backwards, you find those times. And then as you're starting to notice these, right after you do something that is mean, that is selfish, that is dishonest, you catch them right after. You say, oh shoot, there I was dishonest again. I'm sorry, I noticed it, right away. Okay. And then eventually you start catching them before you do them. Okay, I was about to be dishonest, but instead I'm going to be honest. Okay, I was about to be mean, but instead I'm going to try to really tell her what's going on and just try to work things out. Okay, I noticed myself kind of being selfish and looking to my own good without trying to really think about the people around me. Okay, that was selfish, right? So again, that's the basic pattern, right? So you look backwards, you see those times, and then you start catching them right after, and then you start catching them before, and now you are becoming that new person. So the overall goal, right, in behavior change is that you have less frequent and less severe problematic behaviors, right? So it's happening less often that you're dishonest. And when you are, it's not that you're having an affair. Maybe it's that you didn't really like the dinner your wife made, right? But you said you did. Okay? That's still dishonest. You can be honest in a friendly way about that. But and that's the weird thing too. You think, oh, like I have to just say everything's great with my wife, even if it's not. No, actually, when you're honest, that's more attractive because it shows strength. Okay. And it gets to where you actually both feel like you're winning, which is what helps a marriage, the only thing that makes a marriage work long term. Okay. So again, it becomes less frequent and it becomes less severe. You're with the dishonesty, with the mean behaviors, with the selfish behaviors, less frequent, less severe. And then you start replacing those problematic behaviors with positive behaviors. Okay. So dishonesty becomes honesty. Okay. Instead of never telling your wife you're upset with something, you let her know. Okay. Instead of hiding things that you've done that are a problem, you let your wife know. You try to work on them. Okay. So even when it's difficult, yeah, the dinner example is kind of a funny one, but if it's like, hey, the way that we're spending money right now isn't working for me, and we need to talk about that. Okay, we need to get something that works for both of us. That takes strength to do. It takes honesty. You need to get something that works for both of you to that win-win. Okay, that's how you show you're a new you. That's how you show you're changing, not just talk about it. You go from being mean to being kind. Okay, if your wife does something that bugs you, okay, can you be honest? You let her know, but then you respond in a kind way, right? Hey, I didn't really like when you did that. I'm still going to be kind to you because that's who I want to be, right? And you move from selfish, okay, doing what you want, not really caring what she wants to do, to loving her equally to yourself, okay? Getting to that win-win with money, sex, in-laws, parenting, religion, time, right? That you're both spending time in ways that you like. You're spending time together and separately, okay? That's what you move into, and that's how you become that new you and show her that you're changing, right? When you become when you make these changes, guys, you feel great about who you are, and you show your wife that you are a different person. Okay, instead of being dishonest all the time, you're being honest. Instead of being mean, you're being kind. Instead of being selfish, you're putting her equal to yourself, not more and not less. Okay. So, and remember, guys, do not make these changes for her. Don't say, I'll do anything for you. I'm going to be honest for you. I'm going to be kind to you. I'm going to be, I'm going to love you. I'm going to. So the other thing guys get mixed up on, they think the opposite of selfish is putting her above you. And sometimes that can happen, right? Like you might say, okay, like I am going to, my wife has like a big event with her friends and I wanted to go bowling that weekend, but because I know this event's important to her, I'm not going to go bowling. Okay. So that's just like a sacrifice you might choose to make. That's still a win for you. Where guys get mixed up is they're like, well, I can't do anything that I want, especially if I had an affair. I can't do anything that I want. I have to let her do everything that she wants to kind of like atone or make up for what I did wrong. And you might do that for a little bit, but it's not going to work long term. You have to find things that work for both of you. Okay. It's like a new way of thinking. It's not, oh, it was me. Now it's her. You can't do it like that. It has to be work for both of you. That's the key. Okay. But again, remember, don't make these changes just for her. You need to make these for you. Okay. You need to change because you want to be an honest, kind, and loving man, no matter what she chooses to do. Okay. If she chooses to leave or not, you still want to be an honest, kind, and loving man because that's just the type of man you want to be. By the way, that man is also very attractive, okay, and someone that women want to be with. Okay, so changing at this level, it's deep work, and it's it takes real concerted effort to do it, and I would love to help you through it. Okay, to do this, it requires a clear vision of who you want to be as a man. Right? I gave you some ideas there: honest, loving, caring, right, kind. It requires you to be able to manage your own thoughts and emotions, to look deeply, why am I acting these ways, so you can change the thoughts and feelings that are driving those behaviors. Okay. That takes some work, takes some coaching a lot of times. Okay. You also need the ability to communicate in an expert way and reach win-win agreements. This is like one of the biggest keys, guys. This is the key to great relationships. And then for a romantic relationship, you want to be able to create fun, passion, flirting, and romance in your marriage. Okay, when you can do that, you are the type of man that any great woman would want. And you're going to learn all of these things in the Strongman System. Strongman System is $2,500. So look, if you value knowing how to do these things, knowing how to communicate, being a honest, strong, and loving man, showing your wife that you're changing at $2,500, or really, hopefully you evaluate it more than that, right? And the exchange of $2,500 is a value to you. That's what I want for you, okay? Then come join the Strongman System. Visit MikeFrazierMD.com. Let's get going. So here's the other thing. In the system, you do the work. And if it's not worth your investment, you get your investment back. You just have to do the stuff. Okay. If you do the stuff and you don't feel like it was worth it, like your feedback to me is worth more than $2,500 because I want to make the program great. It is great. It's better than it's ever been. I think you're going to find it's worth way more than that investment. And I'd love to see you inside because like becoming the man that you want to be and knowing how to communicate, get to win-win, like your life's just going to be so great once you have these skills. Even if your wife doesn't come back, right? You're still going to be in such a better place because you'll know how to manage your thoughts, emotions. You'll know how to communicate with people. You'll be that kind of guy that you've wanted to be. And that feels amazing. And you will attract a good woman to you now or later. That's just what happens. Okay, it's natural. So visit MikeFrazierMD.com for more information. Sign up now. There's a training on there too. You can enroll in, and I will see you there. Again, that's MikeFrazierMD.com. All right, man. Stay strong. We'll see you next episode.